Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Let's take a forage into some beautiful colours. So at the beginning of the year we did a video that is called something like a colour a day project. So we're going to just kind of wrap that up a little bit, and I'll talk to you a little bit about what I'm doing for this in the future. But I often like to kind of give myself a little very low pressure, low key challenge to kind of just help me to pick up the brush and kind of work on little creative things each day. So this year I decided to kind of make a colour journal. When I was first learning watercolour, I filled so many sketchbooks with just basically colour explorations, mixing, swatching, trying out the colours, kind of seeing what things could do. Testing opacity, transparency, granulation, like all kinds of things, and I really enjoyed it. And so since then I kind of do mixes on the favorite mixes videos, really more mixes that I've been using in paintings, but not necessarily dedicating sketchbook pages to exploring colour. So I have really enjoyed kind of doing this, and you'll see at the end that I also I finished this in kind of March, at the end of March, and then I kind of did another one for April, the month of April as well. So it's kind of like just taking a colour each day and creating a journal based on the colour from that day. So it could be watercolour, it could also be other mediums, like I've used pencil, markers, it could be other types of paint, graphite pencil, and just kind of all kinds of different mediums as well that I like to pop in here and kind of use as the day feels. Like you can see like the fluorescent yellow there, and I put a little note there that it was reminding me of like Millie's tennis ball, our dog. So and then I also kind of was thinking about these like faded wallpapers and kind of layered old wallpapers, and so that also kind of that's kind of started creeping into the colour journal as well. So it's very interesting doing something like this. You can see these little swatches, and again I talk about these more and how I am laying those out in the first video, so I won't go into that too much here. But just very enjoyable to kind of have this little foray back into colour. So this was just a very good, especially I was so busy at the beginning of the year, so it was a really good quick project, and it helps to kind of keep those ideas coming and flowing. And there is also a book, I'll link it below, Colour a Day. You can it's just got like kind of little squares for each day of the year, and you can put a colour in there. So I also think that's a beautiful book and really lovely, but I wanted it a little bit less structured. So you can see that I've kind of gone into colours kind of overlapping and how I felt that day, like smaller colour, like a smaller part of the surface area. So it's just a tiny swatch. There might be like a larger swatch, like the two kind of lilac stripes I did on 2 different days. I just did one of them, and then I came back the next day. I really enjoyed that colour, so I was also putting that on there again. So Yeah, it's very interesting as well to see kind of those months of the year in a colour journal as well. Like, in a way, you know, how would your year look if you used a different colour each year? So I think that's, or like each day. So yeah, I just think that's kind of an interesting concept in a way, even though like, and especially because you kind of think, you can see here I'm using a bit of Winsor & Newton gold ink on the frame, so I also did add a little landscape, which I also want to kind of fill a page with some more of these mini paintings. But what was I saying? You know, often we kind of feel like our days are quite repetitive, but if you think and kind of do something like this and think of it in terms of color, you'll be surprised how different the days are. Like, if someone looks at this, they're not going to think that the days are very repetitive, and yet we all have, you know, fairly structured days. Like, there's quite a lot of similarities in, you know, as the days go along. But yeah, it's just very interesting. So I also talk about this kind of the pattern that I did on the like the dark purple there, I think in the first painting of the year video as well. So but yeah, one of the interesting things about having kind of this, it almost becomes like a sketchbook as well as a kind of a color journal, and then you can kind of look around the page and see different elements and different things that might inspire a painting as well. So there's kind of just all these different like pairings of colors and pairings of maybe little ideas that you had, tiny sketches. This would be really great for the printables in my shop. So I know a lot of you love those, and this would be a great way to use those. And yeah, just add kind of something else from the printable each day, and kind of just create this almost, it's a collaged without being collaged. It's a painting that's just full of these beautiful things. So I think maybe last year or the year before, when I did the sketchbook haul video, we did quite a few paintings like that, and I called them like color gardens. And I still really love that idea of like this kind of garden of color growing on the page, and all these kind of different ideas and elements coming together like that. So you can see here as well that I finished off this page of these swatches, and again, this was a way to kind of think about some of my kind of newer colors. I used to do swatches like this a little bit more detailed. I have like quite an older video about my swatches. I'll try and remember to link it. But I really enjoyed doing that kind of thing for the colours and to kind of learn about them. So I really wanted to do kind of a simplified version of that for some of the newer colours. So I just did this, and I forgot. You can see that like some of them have the little emblem to show the opacity, and then for the majority of them I couldn't find my pen, so yeah, I just decided to just keep going. And yeah, if I could move these around, I would change some of the position of the colours, or maybe change some of them. But that's the interesting thing about a page like this. You know, you could also kind of go over some of them, but yeah, it is what it is. So this is the colour mixing page. So this is a page where I am, and I've written the word here, considering. So when I've been kind of thinking about possibly how those colours would mix, and kind of knowing, you know, kind of theoretically how they will mix, but sometimes pigments can do unexpected things when you put them together. So that's why I kind of called it considering, and I'm just kind of looking at the way those pigments will work together when I put them, you know, down in mixes. So We'll just do a couple so you can kind of see what I mean here. So this one is Indigo and Daniel Smth Indigo, and this is Creamer Pigments Incarnate number 1. So it's a very, very beautiful and soft kind of sheer peach colour. And so you can see that I put a little bit of it into the indigo, then I put a little bit more in, and then at the end I just swatch it on its own, so that on the end of each swatch you have the colour as it stands on its own, and then you kind of have a mix with more of the indigo and then more of the Incarnate one, number 1. So this is another one I was thinking about. This is Blue John, Wallace and Seymour Blue John. I've been using it quite a lot. It's like a beautiful kind of muted grey. So, and slightly like a warmer grey. It's kind of slightly a lilac. They call it on their website that it has kind of lilac undertones. It's quite a beautiful colour. So, and it has these granules as well that I really love to get that kind of texture into the watercolour as well. So not just granulation, but actual granules of pigment. So yeah, I mixed that there with the Daniel Smth Interference Blue, because I just love I love using the Interference Blue. I just wanted to see those two together. So then this one here is also a Cream of Pigments one. This is their Violet Glimmer, Violet Iron Glimmer, and I'm mixing it with the American Journey French Grey, I think. So American Journey is Cheap Joe's own brand, and this is just, again, a beautiful kind of white, you can use it as a white. It's just a really beautiful colour. This one here is the Isero Rose, which I love, and I showed a few comparisons of that in the 2023 favourite watercolours video. So I'm just mixing it with the Greenleaf and Blueberry Barite. You can see it's in that beautiful little shell there. So they just had another update yesterday and I missed out on the Rosaline again, so that is so hard to come by. But yeah, so I just wanted to see those together. But and then I always like to just take my dip pen and some gold ink, usually gold ink, sometimes other inks, and just kind of sketch with it as well. Sketch one of these emblems, and yeah, I like to finish off the page like that. So one of the other things we haven't really talked about is the change of the channel name, and I wanted to brand my watercolours going forward as Opoetique, and I really love that idea of poetic water, and I feel like that is kind of the essence of watercolour. It's such a beautiful medium to use. And then the Poetry of Colour was kind of an intermediary name there, but I really like the idea as well of colour. So colour itself, I feel like, is something that I forage around for quite a lot. I like to kind of see these different sides of how that will work, and yeah, so I guess that kind of ties in with this whole idea of these colour gardens and these kind of little journals of colour. So the thing that we're going to finish off the video here with, or actually maybe we do a book flip through as well, but I wanted to show you kind of this month's colour journal. So I feel like this month is possibly quite inspired by all the soft blues and the beautiful greens, the spring greens that I'm seeing out on the walks lately. And then this page here, I was just kind of swatching out colours again, kind of starting this little journal of colour swatches and just daily kind of the colours that were inspiring me or I was thinking about. And so the two pages kind of come together quite differently, which is interesting. And so this one here is, I started with an emblem and a garland and then some little swatches, and I also kind of put the florals, kind of these faded florals, into a couple of those swatches. But you can also see here that I was thinking about kind of doing a powder blue version of the faded florals, and we did this I think in another video recently, but I wanted to kind of change up the colors, try it again, try some different color combinations. So again, this is just a nice quick way to try out color combinations and things like that. So I've put in some roses there, and you can see how I'm painting this wet into wet. So I've put the color that I want to kind of base the wallpaper or like the background color quite softly with a lot of water, and then I've just gone back in with painting in the roses straight into that kind of wet watercolor. And then I'm going back, when I'm kind of happy with the placement of the roses, I'm going back with a stronger iteration of that pigment. So I am kind of painting on top of it and kind of filling that, that area. So on this page, I decided to take a warm grey Copic, a very like a fine liner, and I wanted to sketch in a building. So this is the Bergdorf Goodman building in New York. It's a really beautiful building. Yeah, just a really lovely building. You can look it up on like instantstreetview.com and check that out. But so this is the pen I was using, but I just wanted to I'm really inspired by artists like Anne Cowan and Lyndon Hayes, I think it is, who have this really linear, like they do this beautiful line work and colours for architectural and cityscapes. So I'm really inspired by that. You can see a little tiny New York there. So I kind of wanted to play around with that a little bit, and I will list them below the video as well. But you can see I also used elements on this page of some from the other page, some of the similar kind of, patterns. But so peeking through. But what am I saying? So you can see like I wanted to try out, I really like kind of this idea of the old wallpapers kind of peeling back, and underneath and on top of each other different people have kind of come through and layered something else and something else. But you can also see that this looks very similar to the placemat that I have on my desk. This is a Molly Hatch one, and that's a very kind of popular, when you look at like the old kind of ornate emblems, that's a very kind of popular kind of design. There's a lot of old book plates and things. It's just a really nice structure, but you can see that I got out my acrylic paint markers and I just kind of started adding those and layering them onto this page. So, you know, this is just a sketchbook, but the interesting thing is kind of how far do you push your art? And you never really know until you try it. So I just kind of got them out and just kind of kept adding things and layering things. And yeah, I think it's such a nice thing to be able to do in a sketchbook, to just kind of see where the boundaries are. And you know, you can kind of paint the same thing and change the colors up and try different things, and then that way you come to understand like where you want to head with how it works. Like this page I think will still get some more layers on it, and I'll still come back and kind of keep building on this because I'm not really sure, but yeah. So this book I showed in my last video about this, and I will show you a couple of other pages in it today. I really love this book, and I love the idea of these colours and patterns kind of together. So you can kind of see the inspiration in the pages that I'm doing. It's such a beautiful book. These layers of the textures and the colours and the way that these rooms just sing. So it's so beautiful. So I think it's a really nice idea to kind of spend the year with a book or a couple of books that you kind of pick, and then kind of go back to them and think about the pages. I think often we can like quickly thumb through things and then kind of, you know, go on to the next thing. But I think it's really nice to kind of go back to the thing and kind of look at it and spend some time kind of trying to understand where the author was coming from and what different elements that they're trying to kind of convey in throughout the book. So yeah, Trisha Gill books, I 100% recommend any of her books. I absolutely love everything that she does, and I find them incredibly inspiring. Place to be and to kind of thumb through those pages. And so what we're going to do is the next video is going to be it's going to be a series of videos, spring festivals. So we're going to do spring florals as kind of like just a festival of videos. So I think it will be really nice. I spent quite a lot of time getting some footage of these trees and going out sketching them almost every day when I could, and so I'll show you all those. We will finish with some paintings. There are pastel sketches and watercolor sketches and pencil, and we'll finish off with like a watercolor painting and actually an oil painting. So I am really excited about these videos, but I want to take a little bit more time to get them finished. So which brings me to an announcement for the channel. I'm going to just start posting every second week again. I had a lot of encouragement to go back to weekly posts, and so I've tried to do a longer video and then a shorter one in the second week, but it's quite difficult. If you think about your favorite TV show is like a series, and they bring out about 8 to 12 videos per year, which is about one a month, and they have a whole team of producers and editors and, you know, filmmakers and camera, lighting, and all these people that come together to create these videos. And for a YouTuber to produce 52 videos, probably plus more if you're doing like Vlogmas, so every year, it's a very, very difficult thing. So I'm going to go back to every second week just so that I have a little bit more time to kind of do the paintings I like to do, and try and give you a really beautiful video. So yeah, we do have so many beautiful videos coming up. We still have mini palettes. We still have favorite videos from winter, favorite videos from spring, favorite, mixes. And then also this course, I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. So this is almost 25, it's got 23 or 24 videos, which again, if you look at, doing every second week, then, or like 2 videos a month, then that's about a year's worth of videos. And yeah, that's how many videos are in this course. I will never, I think, do a course of this magnitude again. It's been a real labour of love, but I have really wanted to put all those things in because I think that they will really help you in kind of seeing landscapes and just painting how you'd like to paint and having the confidence to do that. So I am really pleased with it, and it will be out shortly. I have one more kind of thing that I need to finish, and then I've just got to kind of edit 3 more videos, voice over 3 more videos and upload everything. So it is pretty close. I had a couple of videos, so like 98% of the footage was all there, but then there's a couple of bits where it either hasn't, I don't know, I couldn't find the footage. So I repainted a couple of things to kind of just add in those little, it might only be like a minute's worth of footage, but I needed to repaint the whole thing to kind of get that in for you. So there was 3 of those. I've got 1 left, and then I've just got to voice over everything. So I am really excited about this. I hope you guys really love it. And again, that should give you like plenty of videos to watch as well. So I know that quite a few of you have been quite eager to, be able to get into that. So hopefully that will bring you some really nice painting time as well. And other than that, so I think that's everything. I will see you back here for the Spring Floral Festival in 2 weeks. Have a really lovely week or 2 until then. I will also try and post on Instagram kind of intermittently as well to kind of just show you either what I'm working on or what might be coming up. So yeah, have a lovely week, guys. See you soon. Bye.